Hello everyone, this is Uzma and welcome back to our economics class. In today's class, we are going to discuss a topic from unit number 6, that is industrial sector. In the previous classes, we have discussed topics from unit number 1, economic growth and development. We have discussed all the long answers in that. Then unit number 10 and 9 we have discussed topics related to the Telangana economy. That means we have read all the 5 marks topics over there, like the education system, tourist places, rural urban disparities, etc. So we have read about economic growth and development and Telangana economy, and today we are going to discuss a topic from industrial sector. This unit is completely related with industries, as we have 3 sectors in the economy: agriculture sector, industrial sector and service sector. So this is industrial sector, and we are going to discuss again a 10 marks topic from this chapter, Industrial Policy Resolution IPR 1991. Very important question for your board exam for 10 marks. This is IPR 1991. IPR means Industrial Policy Resolution 1991. Now before starting the answer, we will go with the introduction. IPR 1991 was first came into existence on 24th July 1991. When did IPR policy come into existence? On 24th July 1991. Then the government was headed by Sri P.V. Narasimhan Rao. Government headed by means at that time the Prime Minister was Sri P.V. Narasimhan Rao. So IPR 1991 had came into existence on 24th July 1991 with a government headed by Sri P.V. Narasimhan Rao and Dr. Manmohan Singh as the finance minister. So who was the finance minister at that time? Dr. Manmohan Singh. Then this policy is also known as Liberalized economic policy. IPR 1991 is also known as Liberalized economic policy. IPR 1991 had came into existence on 24th July 1991 with a government headed by Sri P.V. Narasimhan Rao and Dr. Manmohan Singh as the finance minister. This IPR 1991 is also known as Liberalized economic policy. So we are going to discuss the features of IPR 1991. What is this whole topic all about? About the features of IPR 1991 policy. Let us see the first point. Abolition of industrial licensing. Abolition means removing. Then the policy, this policy IPR 1991 has abolished industrial licensing for all industries except 18 industries. Means, what is the meaning of industrial licensing here? Means before starting any industry, before establishing any industry, we must have the permission from the government. Shall I construct my industry over this area or not? So what we are doing, we are asking the permission, we are asking the licensing before starting an industry, that is called as industrial licensing. So this policy is saying that no need of having any industrial licensing, no need to take the permission from the government. This policy have abolished industrial licensing for all industries. That means no need of any industrial licensing, but except 18 industries. That means 18 industries should have the permission from the government. 18 industries must have industrial licensing. Remaining all other industries, if they don't have industrial license also, no problem, but this 18 industries must have the industrial licensing. But what happened again in 2002? Again in 2002, the licensing was compulsory only for 5 industries. Previously, licensing was compulsory for 18 industries, but now it is compulsory for only 5 industries. What we have read in this point, that this policy have abolished industrial licensing for all industries. That means no need of having any license, but 18 industries must have industrial licensing. But again, what happened in 2002? Industrial licensing was compulsory only for 5 industries. Let us see what are those 5 industries. First is the industries with alcohol products, they must have industrial licensing. Second is tobacco products must have industrial licensing. Industrial explosive, explosive means, for example, bombs you can take here, okay, the bombs which we throw in order to destroy everything. So that production will be done in these industries. So industrial explosive must also have compulsory industrial licensing. Fourth is hazardous chemicals. Hazardous means which are very harmful, that kind of industries. Then defense products, like example guns, swords and various materials which are used in war or defense items. So these are the 5 industries where the industrial licensing is compulsory. What are those? Alcohol products, tobacco products, industrial explosive, hazardous chemicals and defense product. First point what we have read, no need of any industrial licensing. Without the permission of government you can start the industries, but for 5 industries industrial licensing is compulsory. They must take the license from the government. Who must take the license from the government? These 5 industries: alcohol, tobacco, hazardous chemicals, explosives and defense products. Coming to the second point, that is public sector's role diluted. Now public sector is nothing but the government. Then what is the meaning of diluted? Diluted means losing the effectiveness. For example, imagine that we need to make a mango juice, a fresh real mango juice at home, homemade mango juice. So you have take out the peel and you have kept it into a grinder and you have made a mixture of that. So the mixture was very thick. So in order to make it in a juice form, you have added some water. Okay, the puree was only for half glass, and if you add 3-4 glasses of water in half a mixture of mango, then what will happen? Whenever you are drinking, you are taking a sip into your mouth, you won't be getting any taste of mango, just you will be feeling that as if you are drinking some water. So what happened here? When I have added more water to the mango puree, the mango puree became diluted, means its effectiveness have gone. In the same way, public sector role have been gone, have been come down, its effectiveness have reduced. How? Let us see. This policy, which policy? IPR 1991. This policy have reduced the PSU. PSU means public sector unit. This policy have reduced public sector units from 17 to 8 and then from 8 to only 3. Now at present only 3 public sector units are there in our country. So what have happened here? The public sector units have been gradually decreasing from 17 to 8 and 18 to at present we have just 3 public sector units. So is its role diluted? Is it have become less? Yes. So public sector role diluted means the role of public sector have been reduced from 17 to 8 and 8 to 3. Now what are those 3 public sector units which are reserved? That is, first one is atomic energy, Second is arms and ammunition, and third is railways. Now atomic energy means huge nuclear power plants will be there where nuclear energy is required, and how that nuclear energy they'll be getting from atomic energy. That this is a kind of heat energy which is used in providing electricity. All right, how the current in our houses and schools and colleges is coming, that is all coming from power plants. How they are getting energy? From atomic energy. So basically electricity is related with public sector unit. Second is arms and ammunition, means whatever kinds of weapons, guns, swords, etc. which you use come under arms and ammunition. Then railways, railways are also handovered by the government. Government means public sector units. Alright, there are 3 public sector units in our country where the government is controlling these 3 industries. What are those? Atomic energy, arms and ammunition, and railways. 2 points are completed. First is abolition of industrial licensing. Only for 5 industries industrial licensing was compulsory. Then second point, public sector roles is diluted. It have only 3 industries where the public sector is having importance. Then coming to the third point, MRTP Act. The full form of MRTP Act is Monopolist Restrictive Trade Policy. Monopolist means what? Single seller in the market. You have read in your first year 5th chapter. Okay, monopoly means single seller. Only one seller will be there in the market. He will only get the profit. He can only take the advantage. Remaining no other seller must be there. So, monopolist. Restrictive means avoiding. Means monopolist should not be there. So, on the recommendations, recommendation means on the suggestions of SVS Raghavan committee on 2002. Which committee? SVS Raghavan committee in 2002. It have abolished MRTP Act. It has removed MRTP Act, and in place of that it have set up the Competition Act. Now what is the meaning of competition? That is an opposite of monopoly. There are many sellers in the market and they will be having competition between them. For example, if you have a restaurant and in front of that I have started my own restaurant, then what will happen? Customers may come to you. If my dishes are more delicious, then they will come to me. That means the competition is increased. Now we both have the restaurants in the same area. Some third person again have established again one more restaurant. Then the competition will be double and triple. So what is happening here? Whenever profits are earned, it is not earned by one person. Everyone is getting profits. Because of this reason, MRTP Act have been abolished, and in replacement of that they have made Competition Act. So this is nothing but MRTP Act. Alright, based on whose recommendation MRTP is changed to competition? Based on the recommendations of SVS Raghavan committee. So totally 3 points are done. First one was abolition of industrial licensing, second one was public sector role is diluted, and third one is MRTP Act. Coming to the fourth one, free entry to foreign investment. Free entry to foreign investment. Foreign investment means you can also tell it as FDI, foreign direct investment. Now, government is encouraging foreign direct investment in core infrastructure areas to help the economic development. Now, you did not understood anything here. For example, let us take Shamshabad Airport or RGI, Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. You have seen the infrastructure over there. It is extremely developed ones. So in order to construct those airports, we require millions of money, not lakhs also, we require millions of money. So do our country have that much of money? No. In order to construct, in order to focus on important infrastructure, core means important. In order to develop the infrastructure, the government is, the other countries are investing in our country, that is called as foreign investment. So whenever the government is encouraging foreign investment, means whenever we are getting foreign investment, we are focusing on our infrastructure, which is helping us to become an economic developed country. Alright. Free entry to foreign investment means we are not stopping anyone. If anyone from foreign countries we are getting investment, freely we are taking those investment and we are using in it development of our infrastructure, which is helping our country to develop. From developing we are transforming into develop. So one of the reason is foreign investment. Coming to the fifth point, liberalized economic policy. Liberalized means free trade without any barriers. For example, whenever we drive on some road, we will be finding some speed breakers. So what happens, we will be in our speed, but whenever we see the speed breaker, we will just catch the brakes of our bike. So what will happen, we are reducing our speed. It is creating some problem on our way. It is creating some hurdle on our way. Okay, what liberalized is saying that we need to remove all these speed breakers, all the barriers, all the hurdles. There must be free flow of goods and services. That is the meaning of liberalized. Now what liberalized economic policy says? Without the government approval, you can establish industries. Without the agreement, without the permission of government, you can establish the industries, but in cities not more than 10 lakhs of population, means whichever city is having 10 lakhs of population, you cannot establish any industry there. Okay, wherever the population is more than 10 lakhs, you cannot establish the industries there, but except that place, any other place where the population is less than 10 lakhs, you can establish your industry without the government approval also. Now, why is it saying only 10 lakhs of people? Why? Because we don't set up industries in cities. We set up away from cities, because the industry will cause lots of pollution, various types of pollutions. Because of that reason, we will establish the industries away from cities, which is having more than 10 lakhs of population. When more population is there, don't establish the industry there. Wherever little less population is there, without the government approval also, you can start your industry. So is it nothing but free trade? Yes. Free permission you are getting? Yes. That is liberalized economic policy. Till now how many points completed? 5 points. Abolition of industrial licensing, public sector role is diluted, MRTP Act, free entry to foreign investment, and fifth point is liberalized economic policy. Sixth is MSI, medium scale industry. So in these industry, the maximum investment limit is just 10 lakhs. You cannot invest more than 10 lakhs. So any industry whose investment is rupees 10 lakhs, we call them as medium scale industry. So IPR 1991 have given much importance to medium scale industries. Seventh point, wider definition to industry. So this brings all the services and trade units together to form an industry. For example, imagine there are various computer shops and internet shops. So there are some specialized persons who will be working there. Now imagine that I am starting an industry, an IT company, where I need intellectual people who can operate computers very well. So what I'll do, in order to reduce my expenditure, I will choose the persons from the local areas who are experts in operating computers. I'll collect all those employees and put in my company, then I'll make them to work in my company. So what I'm doing here, I'm bringing all these services and trade units together to form one company, to form one industry. So am I not giving some wider definition to industry? Am I not giving more importance to industry? Yes, that is the meaning of wider definition to industry. Last and final point, special packages to small, tiny and village industry. Small, tiny and village industry, whenever I say, you must get in your mind that small industries, cottage industries, handloom industries, where the work is done with hands. Alright, so whenever these industries are there, they are at very low level, they don't have much money, they don't have much investment. If the villagers want to start an industry, they won't have capital, they don't have money with them. So what the government have done, the government have announced special packages to small, tiny and village industries. For example, imagine that for a small industry, if it requires some tiny industry, if it requires some 50,000 of rupees in order to establish, the person is not having 50,000, then the government is giving package that I'll give you 50,000, whenever you get the profits, you just give me just 20,000, remaining 30,000 no need to pay. Isn't it a special package? Yes. So the government have announced special packages to small, tiny and village industry. So all these points are what? They are the features of IPR 1991, Industrial Policy Resolution. Resolution means changes, whatever the changes have came. What are those changes? These are the 8 changes. First is abolition of industrial licensing. Second is public sector roles diluted. Then MRTP Act, free entry to foreign investment, liberalized economic policy, medium scale industries, wider definition to industry, special packages to small, tiny and village industry. This topic is not completed, it is a 10 marks topic, and after these 8 points we also have a positive and negative impact. And this is the end point of that answer, that is positive impact of IPR 1991 and negative impact of 1991. Means what are the advantages of this policy and what are the disadvantages of this policy. First point, increase in standard of living. Now people's standard of living is increased. How? Because here we are saying that everyone is getting opportunity to start the industry. In which point? We have in 5th point, that without the approval of government you can start the industry. That means when you are working, okay, when you are working you will be getting some salary, right? That salary, if it is going on increasing, that means your standard of living will also increase. So this is a positive impact of IPR 1991. Second point, employment opportunities in MNC. You are getting more and more jobs in multinational companies. How? Let us take the example of Apple company. Okay, this is some symbol of that Apple company, right? So what are the various products of Apple company? You have iPhones, laptops, tablets, etc. So how will be the multinational company of this Apple product? It is a very huge company which is made of all mirrors. So do you think in that industry production activity will take place, manufacturing activity will take place with the help of laborers? No, in that company, in that multinational company, they will be just calculating how many profits we have got, how many losses we have got, how much of sale was there and how much of stock is left. what are the various things we need to develop, what are the various things we need to focus on, what are the problems which the customers are facing, that all will be done in multinational companies. But where this Apple iPhone is produced, where these laptops are being produced, not in multinational companies but in industries. So indirectly these industries are providing employment opportunities in MNCs. Third positive impact is implementation of better technology. When you are establishing more and more industries, that means you will focus on the technology also. You are using best and advanced technology here. That is the third positive impact. Fourth impact is free flow of foreign capital on account of FDI. We are getting free flow of foreign investment. It is related with our fourth point, free entry to foreign investment. Okay, we are getting foreign investment help also. This is also a positive impact. What are the 4 points? First is your standard of living is increased. Second is you are getting employment opportunities in MNC. Third point is you are using better technology. Then fourth is you are getting easy foreign capital, free flow of foreign capital. Let us see what is the negative impact of IPR 1991. What are the disadvantages? First is tough competition for domestic industries. This is related with which point? This is related with our third point. In MRTP, what we said, we have abolished monopolist, we have abolished MRTP and we made Competition Act. Competition means there are number of sellers in the economy. Okay, so when there are number of sellers, that means it is giving tough competition for domestic industries. Domestic means which are within the country, within the boundaries of a country. If they are out of the boundaries of the country, that is international industries, but we are talking about domestic industry. So MRTP Act was abolished and Competition Act was started. Because of this reason, there is more tough competition for domestic industries. Second negative impact, opposition from trade unions. Like the workers in trade unions are opposing to this IPR 1991. Why? Because if any of the laborer or any of the worker is not getting proper salary, then what the trade unions will do, they'll form a group and they'll protest outside the industries that to increase the wages. If they'll not increase, we won't come for work, etc. So where this trade unions will be working? In private sector? No, they'll be working in public sector. And what we have discussed in features of IPR 1991, that public sector role is diluted. There is no importance of public sector. That means these trade unions are also not getting any jobs. They are remained unemployed. They are not getting jobs. Then distortion in the production structure. Distortions means changes. Resolution means what? Changes. Because of lot of changes, it is becoming much difficult to do the production process. Last is a problem of unemployment. This is also a negative impact. How? We have said that we are using better technology. That means we are using machines. We are replacing laborers with machines. Where laborers used to work, we are removing the laborers and keeping the machine. A machine can do a work of 100 laborers also. So these machines, because of this better technology, we have created a problem of unemployment. This is the negative impact and this is the positive impact of the answer. What is the question? What is the topic name here? Industrial Policy Resolution 1991. IPR 1991. This is a 10 marks topic. You have 8 points and at the end you need to write the positive and negative impact. See you in the next class with some new topic. Till that, stay home, stay safe and keep learning.